What's up, everybody? Back here at the Joe Jab Productions coverage of the 2019 No Bogey Amberley Classic. Got myself, Mike Taylor, and Steven Harris.
What's up?
Founder, owner of No Bogey Disc Golf.
That's me.
Hope you guys tuned in to the first round coverage. If not, feel free to go back, watch it. It was some great action. Check out our leaderboard. Jeff Vandemark, 12 down. Dave Cox, 12 down. Nick Long, 11. Ian 11, and Aaron Collins, the Collins brothers,
Collins bros, yeah.
11 and 9, rounding out our lead card
Yeah,
action.
a lot of that. We got multiple Cahills, multiple Collins. We got lots of people who aren't technically related with the same last name.
Sounds like a Hatfield and McCoy. Cahill and Collins. Okay, so we got round 2 coverage here. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsors again: No Bogey Disc Golf, Joe Jab Productions, the Natty Disc Golf, Disc and Dat, Hazy Shade, Stupid Tree Disc Golf. Am I leaving any out?
Boom.
Yep. Yeah.
Boom,
Boom, baby.
Yeah. All right, here's Dave Cox, 2-time putting world champion. He has a very unique style of hyzer putt that you'll see, but he is really, really good at putting. Seems like he just turned a little bit over, but this is forgiving. I did this twice during the round. I put late turn on my putter shots and had in the circle putts from the right side. And here's Nick, recently moved back from Tahoe in the past couple of years.
Yeah, Dave, I'm really excited to see Dave play. Dave's been playing for 27 years. He's arguably one of the local favorites. Has been helping out the disc golf scene, teaching people, as you said, his putting is really unique, really solid, and that's what got him tied for the lead here going into round 2.
This is Ian Collins. We talked about him earlier. He's the king of Monroe Disc Golf Course. He averages 15 aces a year. I've witnessed several.
Probably not an exaggeration.
Literally not. And he is very talented. I enjoy playing with and watching Ian play. He's a super good dude. And Aaron, I personally don't know too much about him. I've never really played with him, but his online presence and social media presence always put off that he's got good vibes.
Yeah.
He's can maybe be a little streaky, I guess, and he's newer to competing sometimes, but he can put it on sometimes. I mean, I've seen him shoot phenomenal rounds out of it. He tours, I mean, in the Midwest area a lot too.
Yeah, Aaron, I had the pleasure of playing with him at one of the Natty Big Threes, probably one of the last rounds at Idlewild. He, I would say, arguably is definitely a good wooded player. He's got an excellent forehand, touch game. He is an all-around solid player, coming in at 957. As you mentioned, he's a player a lot like myself who's tested the waters of Open, had some success, still some consistency problems, but he's got all the tools to compete at this level.
Definitely. Yeah, I think he's from was it Columbus area? I think?
Yeah, Columbus area.
Columbus has several tightly wooded courses, and that would explain why he probably plays pretty decent at Idlewild.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Dave is a Team Natty sponsor. Jeff and Nick sponsored by Crossover Disc Golf. Nick with Upper Parks bag. Yeah. Ian and Aaron, I don't think are sponsored, but are excellent players, and sure they would entertain phone calls, Discraft and Innova.
Back to hole 2, that big hyzer shot. We're probably not going to see too much difference with the added players here. I mean, Dave might take a little bit more of a hyzer flip shot, but the rest of these guys are for sure probably playing hyzers. And if you guys are curious, Dave Cox is Rebecca's dad, so you can probably notice that she picked up a lot of her talent from a wonderful teacher.
Well, everybody, hope you have a frosty beverage or a snack of choice sitting next to you, because we have some excellent action going on. We got a 4-way tie at 12 down, and we're coming into round 2 action. Aaron Collins not too far behind, only 3 strokes. That can be made up very quickly out of here if you start stringing
Ian's
some birdies.
Outlaw. He loves his disc. I've been seeing him throw it a lot the past couple of years. I don't know too much about Outlaws, but is that good? Oh no! That's still not terrible, but I mean, that you guys know downhill is 5 feet is like uphill 15 feet.
Right. Ian had the moniker of T-Rex arms, but I think he's long since outgrown that title.
When I first met him, he definitely T-Rex.
He's got sneaky distance.
Dave being Discraft sponsored. I think he's thrown Discraft for...
He's no longer sponsored by Discraft.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's parted ways.
Did not know that.
He's strictly Team Natty.
Gotcha. I did not know that. So he threw Discraft for quite a while, I thought.
Yep. Probably for over a decade, I guess.
Look at that. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw Aaron's reach back there, but that was committed pullback. I mean, you can tell. Obviously, he overthrew.
Yeah, he's been spending time in the gym. I would venture to guess he's been doing those disc golf workouts because you're right. I think he is gearing up for tour action, and I would not be surprised to see his rating go up the next 2 years with that level of commitment.
Oh, just a little too flat. I mean, he's still got a putt, but whatever. That's Nick.
We saw that first round. If you get off early, it's jail. I saw Nick Shoemaker went backwards.
He had to pitch out backwards, ladies and gentlemen. It had to hurt to be 30-35 from the basket and then go back 25 just to get around it. But he had a great pitch up. He took the bogey
Ian.
like a man.
Let's go, buddy.
Ian Collins.
Let's make it happen.
Team banger.
Oh. Team banger.
Team banger. Ian Collins is the captain of Team Banger. He has had those same 2 bangers in his bag for, he told me, I think 5 years, maybe a little less. But he's definitely said at least, I think he's been 3 or 4 years minimum. And I think, I don't know if it's the first putters he ever had specifically, but he said he also has about 25 bangers at home. So he's a big banger.
That's a great
advocate.
putt by Jeff, picking up where he left off.
Yep, and he is just claiming the lead here.
Yeah, I want to give another quick shout out to Kenji Cummings. He's made the trophies for us 3 years running.
For sure.
Wooden plaques, beautiful trophies, and we appreciate what you do for us, buddy. But everybody, as I mentioned in the previous round, Gary Costa's got 2 of them. People come out. It's the little things, Obviously, people want to win a tournament. You get cash.
And that's maybe something we didn't mention. It's an all-cash payout event, so your payout goes straight to your buy-in goes straight to the cash payout.
But there's something to be said about claiming the hardware, taking it home after a long weekend, and having something to put up on your shelf.
Yeah, especially for being a unique event like this. I mean, this isn't a big sanctioned event, so it's not like it's blasted all over the internet or on the PDGA website. So especially locally, people, I think.
Jeff made the correction from round
look
1.
At this. Oh! Wow! That's just such a crazy shot to watch.
3 feet higher, and that's an ace. Wow!
I personally prefer the over-the-top, like mid-range. I guess a slower fairway, but I mean, watching those shots is like gets my
Ian wants
going.
an ace now because he saw somebody. If he sees somebody give an ace run, that just gets him more motivated
Outlaw
too.
Again.
Yep, and he puts a good move on that one.
For sure.
Dave is a roller king too. I would not be surprised to see if he throws roller here, but I don't know if the wind's optimal.
I was gonna say it's second round, like I was saying. For some reason, second round the wind picked up both days, and you can really see it on this hole. And this is a hole that, I mean, he put that low and it kicked it up.
Almost.
Oh.
Maybe he thought the wind would help it stand up, and it just didn't.
Yeah, he's got a really solid reach back. Look at this. Going way long.
Yeah. Yeah, that's whole force tee pad. Nick's got the collar popped. He's ready for some rolling action. He's ready for the casino.
Guessing that's something he picked up in Cali.
Looking good again.
Oh my gosh.
Will it settle?
That's still a putt for me.
Yeah, it's a putt.
It's wide open. And I think he'll be putting with a tailwind, so.
Yep. For all the locals watching, wanted to say thanks a million for everybody who donated a basket. People who helped provide help, setting it up, breaking it down. It literally, this tournament and most big tournaments like this, I think that's a misrelease there.
Misrelease.
But most big tournaments, as all our TDs locally, and there you go, Dave. We'll attest to it takes a lot of people to make these big tournaments happen. So thanks everybody. We really appreciate it.
Ooh. That'll be a tough bogey to swallow for Aaron. Hang on, let me just tap in my sweet shot.
Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of Pro Tour events and PDGA events where you got the one round on one day. It's a different style of play. This is 2 rounds one day. stamina is a huge factor.
Yeah,
Knowing
a lot of
that
endurance for this
you got to
course.
basically replicate what you did first round if you want to come away with the win.
Yeah, it takes at least 2 solid rounds. I mean, they can't vary too much. One definitely has to be pretty killer, I feel. The other one can't really be below killer.
Yeah, what would you say a 12 down would have been rated had this been PDGA?
12 down? I mean, considering there was only, 3 players above 10 down or below 10 down?
Yeah.
I'd say that was pushing at least 1040. I'd say, I mean, that's maybe a little lower. I think that there's
maybe
potential.
1030, 1020, 1030.
I'd say 1025 to 1040 at tops. But, I mean, I definitely think there's still room for guys on a good day to shoot in upwards of 15 down.
Wow, Jeff has taken this really wide. Let's see if it makes its way back. And it does.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen a hyzer thrown that wide on this hole.
Not that came back. I don't know if this is his enforcer.
Looks like a defender.
Or defender, I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that looks great. I saw that's the disc he threw a 700-foot hyzer ace with one time.
700 foot?
Yeah, he went over the trees on a hole at Monroe. He took the 23. He took the wide hyzer over top of the trees, and I jokingly said, "Here goes Ian Collins for the 700-foot ace," and then he aced it.
Wow. Didn't you get an ace that day too?
I did. Yeah, I aced the shorty hole 4 that I had missed. I had chained out like 7 times. Literally, my wife was there to laugh at me for one of them.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Ian's, I mentioned, claim to fame locally. Every local disc golf scene has those, but I think Ian's claim to fame was, didn't he ace 4 or 5 days in a row? Yeah,
he went on I think it was 4 days in a row, and I was there for his last ace. The day before they took out a Mando on one of our local courses, he took the traditional hyzer route on. That was already hard to do, and he aced it. The next day, the designer, Fred Salas, a Disc Golf Hall of Famer, put in a Mando for the opposite. It's an opposite shot now. It's a turnover or flick. But, yeah, he smashed it, and about 3 hours before Fred nailed a sign up for Mando.
Yeah, Fred Salas, if you guys don't know, is the designer of Idlewild and several other courses that we've been blessed to have because of his mind. Thanks, Fred. Fred's come out and actually played a couple years at Amberley.
Yeah, I was a little bummed not to see him. But, I mean, he's got other stuff going on. For all we know, he was probably at Idlewild working during this event.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always trying to make adjustments to the course. We have the Pro Tour event come to Idlewild, which, we're in Cincinnati, Ohio, but, Idlewild's within 30 minutes if you're in the central area of Cincinnati or around the 275 highway. You're not far from Idlewild. So, Fred, we consider a local course. Fred's always making adjustments, trying to make it harder. Adam Jones and Jason Curl always trying to improve the Pro Tour stop that we're lucky to have here every year.
Yeah, Fred's a big advocate for pushing these top touring talented pros. That top couple percent of the Pro Tour. He really takes Idlewild to the point where he wants to make it really challenging, and it is. I mean, it's a tough course, and you don't ever really see many people shooting more than 5 to 8 down there. And that's a great round. I forget what the rating is on that, but that's like phenomenal.
And not to get too tangential here, but this is when you have guys like Fred Salas and Adam Jones as course designers locally, and Pete Caldwell has done some course design. I mean, it really made me think a lot critically about like what would these guys think. What would all the course designers think about this course? And really a lot of critical thought went into, is this challenging? Is this reachable? Is this too gimmicky? Stuff like that they set the bar, and I really tried to live up as close to I could as some of their course design skills that we come to enjoy, year in and year out in our area.
I'm not sure what, no, this isn't a Felon, is it? I can't remember what Ian's thrown his boom disc is. I've only seen it a couple times, but he took something really high, which is great. I mean, if you're going to go wide, you better go high because you're not going to get too close to the
basket. Could be a servo.
Servo's like his understable. It's an MVP disc.
Oh, okay.
He uses it for his flicks. He does like crazy late flick turn. He'll do it on a hole that bends left. He'll flick righty, and then he gets the late turn out of it for the left part of the bend. It's crazy to watch that shot.
So we're seeing some early separation here. Jeff really putting his foot down on the gas pedal. Dave trying to keep pace. Ian trying to keep pace. And
big arm pull.
That is really hard to do.
That's not easy.
It's not easy, or not. Oh my gosh. Oh! Wow, and he almost cashed it.
I think I saw he's putting with the Lynx. Those are like a new Discmania putter, which I putt with, and I really like them. I went from Wizards to those. Kind of like a flat top Wizard almost. Which is kind of silly to say for a putter, but.
So here we got Dave's patented putting style. Some hyzer angle.
Well, that's the thing. Is I feel like
down.
typically he does a straddle hyzer, but he's been. I don't know if it's the windier conditions or what, but he kind of lines up straighter. Sometimes it softens him up. A little bit of just a pull. All right, this hole seems to be eating some people.
Yeah, it's giving people a little bit of a challenge, and again, I think it's people knowing, we only got about 14 holes left. Jeff is playing lights out, even though he missed a putt there. Dave's playing pretty good. They know what they got to do. I mean, unfortunately, at this stage in the game, people want to finish second, third for the cash, but at the end of the day, everybody wants to win. They know what they got to do to come out and win. So people are probably feeling a little bit more pressure at this stage of the round.
I can't remember what chase card ended up being like, but I'm pretty sure someone on chase card kind of gave a run there for a minute. I can't remember who.
I'm pretty sure Jerry Krause had
I was gonna say, I think Jerry,
the hot round of the day.
14
yeah,
something?
And that's
where you're really pushing for sure, closer to maybe 1050 plus right
yeah,
around.
Jerry had just came down and won a pretty big B tier that the club does.
Fought through. What
at
a
the Flying Pig Open. It's at Harbin Park in Mount Airy. He came and won against a stacked open field, shooting phenomenally. So he was coming off a big win, and Jeff was actually, I believe Jeff finished second.
Oh, I never saw this.
Going into the second round. Yeah, that's a nice
That's actually, it's right
turnover
there.
shot.
Yeah, it takes a lot of guts to throw that shot and be confident in it. And this is Ian's Quake here. It's a little tight. Look at that love. See his basket.
Yep.
His basket.
Yeah, and Jerry we consider a local. Even though he lives up in Beaver Creek, Dayton, Ohio. It's about an hour away. We all consider him a local. He comes down here a ton and competes at a lot of the tournaments and always gives it his best try to win. And often he does.
This is a really tight spot to be in. You really have, he's just going up. He's going on the outside. He's not even messing with trying to softly put something up the middle.
Yeah, I think Nick seems like he's trying to get the feel going.
Yep.
He's still at 12 down. He knows that he can win. He's not out of it yet, but he's
great
just
putt.
Oh, that's awesome.
That was a great putt.
He putted around that tree. Yep. That angle didn't really do it justice, but yeah, Nick knows he still has a chance. It's just about settling those nerves, starting to hit some big putts, starting to hit some lines.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shorties on this course, but I mean, some of them just really, like I was saying, they're not forgiving. They're really demanding for what line you got to hit. There's so much either elevation change or a low ceiling, or it requires so much finesse to kind of actually guarantee the birdie for being must get. So, I mean,
right, and that's the fun and the challenge of designing a course that's relatively open, not in a forest with trees where you have to sculpt out lines and take some trees down here or there to make the lines, but any course designer could come through here, a player, come through here and maybe slice this land up a little bit differently than maybe I did.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, and there's like even more that wasn't technically used that could have been used to make some other types of holes even. But personally, I don't really hear any complaints. I've never really heard complaints from disc golfers, at least, about this course. And I think it's really good to have this course for several years and not really have many people go, this hole, I just can't do hole 7 because this turnover shot's just ridiculous. And it's great to know that it's pretty well balanced. I mean, I haven't heard any other comments either about whether or not something should be harder. I don't think, like I was saying, these short holes aren't necessarily just gimmies. So Dave opted for the forehand. I've never really seen Dave throw many forehands. I guess he's just for sure he's settling up for the safe shot.
He took one step and he still threw that really far.
Yeah. Ian's pretty notorious for some forehand shots, and that's a great one.
Ian has been playing since he was a kid. I guess his dad got him into the sport. He told me he was throwing a DX ultra long ultra long range wolf for many years.
What a shot, Aaron.
Before he actually got into it, but I think he had a knee injury a couple years ago, and that planting that knee on the backhand was really painful. So I think that's how he really developed.
No, that is, yeah. He
game.
played strictly forehand for like all of fall and winter or something one year, just to be able to play.
Yeah, I mean, and that's again alluding to a point I made in the first round coverage, that it is really hard on your body to play this game all year round. The training that goes into getting to this level of putting practice, doing field work, playing rounds, prepping for tournaments, it really does take a toll on your body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great.
Got him.
Yeah. See, I was just talking about Nick really just trying to settle into his game, and that'll help.
Got him. Great.
2 holes in a row from Aaron.
Yep. 2 big.
And that's the consistency piece we were talking about. You know, I've been hovering in that 950s range for a couple of years now, and it's fun because you can rip off these 1,000-rated rounds, but then when it's not working, you're in the 900,
yep.
low 900s, and that's the consistency. You see what he can do, but he had a couple of mistakes there earlier in the round that's got him already playing catch-up.
Yep.
But hitting big putts, you know, that can really get your momentum for a top finish if you can keep it going.
And here we are back to the big downhiller, par 4.
Shout out to my mother-in-law for letting me borrow her minivan for the weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah. We got most of this done with minivans, guys. We didn't have
Subarus and
off-road.
Hondas, baby.
I didn't bring my Subaru. I ended up bringing the minivan both days. So
she took off the pink shag steering wheel cover, though. At least I was feeling like a baller rolling around with that
oh
thing.
man, it's so hard to see this shot because majority of the time you're just guaranteed to be in it. Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh, that is crazy. That's ridiculous.
You probably clipped like 5 leaves and branches on the way through there.
Yep. Oh, it's too low. I think next year I'm just taking the Mega Hyzer Flip high.
Even that almost made its way out.
Yeah.
He might have a look to get down there. It's very tricky if you're halfway up the hill off the fairway. Oh, we were at the bottom of the hill for this.
Yeah. No.
Was that doubles?
I think that was the doubles event. Yeah.
Okay, so Steven and I were on the next hole of the second round of doubles on the day after this. And Jeff he actually almost gave it an ace run.
Yeah, it literally skipped right to the front of the basket.
And if it had so much momentum on it, if it was a little bit higher, it might have actually hit the cage or gone in.
Dave, would you throw a crank? That would make sense. I feel like Dave throws cranks. Yeah, a little more height and a little further left, Dave would have parked it. Here goes Ian with his, I think it's a defender.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm guessing Ian's going to try and give himself a circle 2 look. It is incredibly challenging to get in the circle on this hole. Not that it's outside the realm of possibility, but...
Ooh, he might be high enough still to get out. Yep. Great shot by Ian. I mean, that's probably pushing the edge of circle 2 or a little further out, but can't reiterate enough. Being circle's edge is still pretty good luck. Remember, first round, Jerry threw from a similar position and just hit the base of the basket, and Nick didn't do much worse.
That's about as good as you're going to do from where Nick was.
With
that was a very
all that air time and the
good touch shot.
Get in the basket.
Whoo-wee.
Just short. Yeah, Ian throws a quake flick for just about 50% of his shots. He just trusts it. He likes it. Ooh! I don't know. I think he's got a ridiculous... The back of that disc is covered in ink for aces. It's just kind of here. Actually, Jeff's got a big birdie putt. Or a big... Sorry, eagle. Give it to him. Oh!
Wow. Everybody gave that a very good run.
Yeah, you can tell it's last round, and they're trying to catch what strokes they can. Let's go. Wow.
Beautiful putt.
That's spit through and
commitment.
Still stayed.
There you go. You earned it, buddy. Yeah, he knows what he has to do. Him and Jeff play rounds all the time together. They battle back and forth. Pretty much similar players for the most part, rating wise. They go about things a little bit differently. Jeff a little bit more of a power player. Nick more of a finesse player. Both exceptional putters.
Definitely. Team banger, let's go.
Yeah, Ian, I want to give a quick shout out to Ian because you mentioned, how he's an all-around fun guy to play rounds with. There's a lot to be said about that. It's just always great to get out. He's always laughing, always smiles. It's a good time, energizes you when you're playing a tournament that you can kind of calm the nerves a little bit knowing you're on Ian's card.
Yeah, even on a bad pull with Ian, if he throws a bad pull or you do, it's he has a way of kind of joking about it, or just the choice words he chooses.
Exactly.
It makes you just forget about it and laugh it off. It's not like it's ever comes across as a jab or anything. It's always kind of like his way of being like, don't worry about it, Here's these high, almost grenade-like shots, which is what
and
you have to have.
he's been really big for our community too, just because everybody loves going out to weekly leagues. Not everybody can make them, but he's been running consistently Monday at Monroe, and in the wintertime he'll do the Winton singles, and he'll switch it around with the Armco here or there, and it's just you'll see torches passed in every disc golf scene. Guys come and guys go. They run it for a little bit, but he's really been a staple for these weekly leagues that get good turnouts. He's got
to be probably within 6 feet of the path. I mean, if one little roll, that's the problem with this hole. I don't want to say problem, but the thing with this hole is if you throw a shot like Ian and you get the roll like you probably banger,
banging it in,
big banger.
Let's see if Nick can follow up a good putt with another good putt.
Oh, just a little short.
Oh, looks like you got some thorns on his leg.
Yeah, shout out to Amberley Village Maintenance for clearing out a lot of the stuff. I mean, most of these holes would look a lot more unkempt if it wasn't for them. And they kind of last minute took out some thick thistle and I forget, what was it? The
hemlock?
Hemlock, that's what it was, hemlock.
They did. They cleared
took out a ton of hemlock.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually a problem years before of people not being able to get their discs and stuff because it was so thick, and they fixed it. And a little stutter step from Nick there.
Yeah, I want to kind of segue into how lucky we are to be able to play here. It started as just being at work, driving by the property, and thinking about how great it would be to have a disc golf course there. And it's kind of some persistence on my part, calling and leaving voicemails and emailing different contacts. Was able to meet some people at the village, Amberley Village, who, really resonated. They might not have known a whole lot about disc golf, but this used to be a ball golf course, and a lot of them grew up caddying here and playing here as kids. So when it was floated that we would do a disc golf course here, they were super ecstatic, wanted to do anything they could help, and they've been very supportive of this.
Yeah, meeting the sergeant that we dealt with the most, he just told me a story of how his dad and grandpa played at this course, and him and his buddies caddied, and I think a couple of his buddies are either on the force or still locals in general of Amberley, and he's like, I'm just glad that it's being used still. The course got taken out. He seemed like he was kind of bummed just because of the memory's sake, and the fact that we got to do something that kind of makes him know it's being appreciated still. And that's that servo. That's the I call it the servo. It's a servo. It's very rare you see him flick that disc and it doesn't turn with late turn.
Yeah, and I can just, knowing Ian, you and I both know Ian, he's trying for an ace there.
Yeah.
He's only 2 strokes off the lead. The birdie play is to throw backhand, but if he gets an ace here, that's getting him in a tie for second. He knows where he's at. He knows he's playing good. So I take my hat off to him for making it a go for an ace.
Yeah, hitting off the front of the cage is probably... I think that's probably the most consistent miss for Dave, too. He's almost always in line. You don't ever see him blow by chains right or left. It's always hyzer straight at the pole, for sure. That also, what you were saying, shows how confident Ian can be with his putt, because He's willing to make those ace runs more frequently than a lot of players you see play. He's stepping up to a shorter hole. He's going, I got the disc for this. It's either ace or tough deuce. Who cares?
Yeah, and got to give a little credit to Cyrus. Him and Cyrus play a lot, and I think that's been Cyrus's mentality for many years of running at things, going for the ace, going for the throw-in, that Ian's really adopted. And I felt pretty strongly for a while, because actually Ian and I have been competing against each other coming up the amateur divisions for years, and he gets a lot of that from Cyrus too. But here we are and wrapping up our front 10, round 2. Jeff holding on to a 2-stroke lead, deadlocked at second between Dave and Ian, Nick at 14, and Aaron at 12.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We're going to bring you the back 10 here shortly, and if you haven't yet, go watch the front 10. Subscribe to Joe Jeff, Disc and Dat, No Bogey.